Hey folks, it's Florida Deere. Just want to wish you guys a happy new year before I get started here. But it kind of ties in to what I'm going to be talking about in this video. You know, New Year's resolutions, whatever, right? So I'm posing the question, is my shop too big? Is it too small? Is it an enabler? And so you might be wondering, where the heck am I going with this? I mean, clearly the answer to that question is always the shop is too small, right? The shop is too small. There's never enough space to put all your stuff in whatever size building you have. So as I pan around the shop here, you can see no less than four tractors, right? And then projects and, partial projects over here. An unopened box with a 3-point hitch in it that goes to this tractor. Didn't even put the bench thing back. I've got parts laying on the floor over here. Parts laying around the 140 that didn't get done. How sad is that? Been working on that restoration for more than a year. Then you go out to what I call the annex. Okay, so this area is 20 by 30. I will tell you, when I built this thing, I built it 20 by 30 less than a year after I moved in here back in 2004. And this was the biggest building I would ever need. I had one tractor, a GT 235. I used to put mulch in here. It really was a storage shed at that time because I didn't have any electricity. But then when I got electricity, that's when things started to go out of control, I guess. So I have all this stuff here. Projects up here, or partial projects. Those tires are going on the 325 that's not even here. We'll get to that in a minute. There's 5 engines there. 3 decks there. 2 more tractors out here. And in case you missed the one right there, that's actually my dad, so I can't take responsibility for that. I only have 9. His makes it 10 that I'm in possession of. Those 2 decks are junk. That one's going to be redone. Fender pan. You get the idea here. I want to say this part of the shop is 14 by 18 or 19 or something like that. And then I had the guy that did the concrete in here pour me a little patio that I was just going to use as a patio. I wasn't going to have anything on it. But look what's happened. So, like almost 18 years ago, this thing was way too big. And now, it seems to be too small. So I guess my question is it too big or too small? Or does it enable me to be a less than the best person I can be, I guess, when it comes to this kind of stuff? I'm going to take you to the garage real quick so you can see what's going on in the garage. So now we're here in the garage where, as you can see, I have my trailer parked. So this will be the 4th straight day that I think my truck has been in the driveway. And so the reason for that is I have this tractor, which I can move, but then I have that tiller there that's sort of blocking the trailer from getting back to its spot. So this 325 sitting there waiting for parts. And then it's night outside, so this is a 330 that I picked up the other day. And I think I might have a buyer for it. And then there's a 318 that's parts. And then there's some other tractor attachments here. That deck's probably going to go in the 325, but you get the idea here. If you counted 7 tractors correctly in the workshop, there's 3 more here. Remember, one of those tractors in the workshop was not mine. But it's pretty bad when you fill up a workshop that's that size. I think it gets sort of worse when you start to fill up other areas and then you don't have room to do your work. I'll take us back to the workshop. So I think about this question in terms of what I see on the forums or the web pages, right? You know, there's guys with, you know, crazy nice workshops. I'd even call them facilities, right? Their shops are so cool, they're facilities, right? They're not even workshops anymore or garages. They're facilities, you know? And then but see, every time I see a guy like that, I think, man, if only I had what he had, I would have it made, right? And man, that's what happens in this social media American culture sometimes, is we look at so much of what other people have, you know, and it's difficult for our kids, right? I mean, when we were growing up, I mean, I'm 48, so, I mean, there wasn't the internet until I was well into college, or sort of really after college. But when we were growing up, we didn't really, I mean, it was just compared to other dudes in your neighborhood, unless you watched the news, and there wasn't 24-hour news networks then, so you only saw the news every now and then. And when you were a kid, you didn't even care. But now you see these cool facilities that other people have, and you're like, man, I want that. But then when you think about it, there's other guys that operate out of tents or out of their garages, you know, or a small workshop, like a little portable building or something like that. And I'm not saying those are bad, nor am I saying that the big ones are good, or that the big ones are bad, or that the small ones are good. I mean, I don't know. You know, everybody has to figure out what they can handle. And I guess from what I'm saying is, maybe this is enough for me. Maybe this is plenty for me if I manage it better, right? If I have less projects going on at one time. If you're watching this and you're like, man, I like the stuff you do, fear not, I'm not going to cancel the channel out or anything like that. But maybe I need to take a little less projects on at a time. I do get overcome, as my buddy Thomas has said. I get a little good dealitis every now and then, which leads to projectitis, which is what you see here. You know, and so maybe this is a big enough workshop for me. Maybe I need to make it big enough. You know, I was thinking I needed something bigger, and I was going to expand, you know, take this down and make this bigger or something. And I thought, man, I just need to figure out how to use this space better. And maybe one way I could do that would be to not jam it so full of other tractors that I'm not currently working on. So anyways, what do you think about my question? And, you know, what is your take on the space that I have versus the space you have, or the space we think we should have, you know? And I don't know. And the other thing is, with all this stuff, is maybe I need to spend a little less time moving stuff around and try to take good advantage of the time I have, because I got other important things to think about, you know, as time goes on, as a husband, as a father, as, you know, fellow church member, you know, all these kind of things that, you know, I don't often cover in my channel. I still, you know, am a, you know, husband to my wife. I have 3 kids, you know, 13, 11, and 5. And, you know, time flies. You know, as the kids get older, you know, they become, I mean, I got less than 5 years left with Brooke, my oldest, and not much more than, you know, 6 with my son. So, you know, these projects are super fun. They're great, but they're not all of what life has to offer, right? And so I'm not trying to make this too emotional or gushy or ridiculous, weird video, but, you know, just those kind of things that if I spent less time moving stuff around, going to acquire stuff ahead of schedule or whatever, then maybe I could spend more time on more important stuff. In any case, I'm sure I've left stuff out of this video that was more important or something, but if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you want to subscribe and check out some more of my John Deere stuff, then you can hit the subscribe button as well. And I appreciate you watching. You guys have a happy new year and have a great night. Bye.